Major developments are unfolding in the cryptocurrency world. There's breaking news about Bitcoin, an update on what's coming next for Ethereum, major happenings with XRP and Ripple, and word that Donald Trump is launching crypto ETFs with Crypto.com, even as controversy swirls. If you hold crypto, I highly recommend listening to all of today's news. Trust me, you will not believe the latest statement from Michael Saylor. It's a new clip, and at the end, he essentially says,
I think that I've just answered the question.
But let's begin with a quick yet very impactful piece of Bitcoin news. Just in, the Oklahoma House has passed strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation on the state level. This means Oklahoma joins Texas, Arizona, and Utah, all of which have introduced their own strategic Bitcoin reserve bills in their respective state houses. How does this affect you? Well, while Arizona is still leading the way, having passed its bill through Committee 1, Chamber 1, Committee 2, and now under debate in Chamber 2, Oklahoma has just moved its legislation through Committee 2. Essentially, more states are giving the go-ahead for holding and buying Bitcoin as part of their state-level treasuries. Let's see how this unfolds. Also just announced, Trump Media is teaming up with Crypto.com to launch crypto ETFs, despite the ongoing controversy around Crypto.com's native Zero token. Crypto.com CEO Chris shared a tweet with pictures of himself visiting the White House and meeting the president, calling it an honor of a lifetime. Now, Crypto.com has officially confirmed a strategic partnership with Trump Media and AMP, Technology Group and Yorkville, America, aimed at rolling out a set of ETFs. These products will feature a basket heavily weighted in cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, Zero, and other digital assets. People who hold BTC or Zero are reacting positively, and Crypto.com will furnish back-end technology and custodial services through its US trust company as part of this arrangement. However, one reason this collaboration is raising eyebrows is that it shows the Trump administration is not only interested in Bitcoin adoption, but also in altcoins. This venture would mark the world's first ETF to include Zero. Still, some Zero holders are voicing concerns. For instance, on-chain investigator ZachXBT calls the token no different from a scam, pointing out that Crypto.com reissued 70 billion Zero tokens a week ago, tokens that were supposedly burned forever. Back in 2021, this amounts to 70% of the total supply, apparently going against earlier community consensus. ZachXBT also questions why Truth Social would choose to partner with Crypto.com rather than Coinbase, Kraken, or Gemini after such a move. Crypto.com's stance is that they put the reissuance to a community vote, but they also control most of the token supply, so that vote went in favor of reissuing. Indeed, many remember the 2021 announcement that 70 billion Zero were burned, the so-called largest token burn in history. Now it appears tokens have been brought back. Moving on, there's big Ripple and XRP news from Ripple's chief legal officer. As he puts it, they've reached the final step of crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and this should be his last update on SEC versus Ripple. We've already covered the basics. Last week, the SEC agreed to withdraw its appeal with no additional requirements. Ripple, in turn, agreed to drop its cross appeal. So, it's finally over. The SEC will retain $50 million of the initial $125 million fine, holding it in an interest-bearing escrow account, with the rest returned to Ripple. The bottom line for you and me is that this legal drama is done, and Ripple can fully re-expand in the US market.
We're thrilled with the ultimate outcome. It allows us to really unlock the US market.
We'll also need to watch what happens with Bitcoin, especially with Trump's global reciprocal tariff set to begin on April 2nd. Will additional tariffs be positive or negative for crypto? Typically, more tariffs can hurt risk assets, so we'll have to see how strong these tariffs are and how the market reacts. Trump himself offered a clue in a clip, suggesting he might give a lot of countries breaks, but it's all still quite uncertain leading into what he calls Liberation Day, April 2nd.
Well, I may give a lot of countries breaks, but it's reciprocal, but we might be even nicer than that. You know, we've been very nice to a lot of countries for a long time, but I call it Liberation Day. April 2nd is Liberation Day. But today, as you know, we did something with respect to Venezuela. You heard about that. And that will be quite important. We'll be announcing some additional tariffs over the next few days, having to do with automobiles, cars, and having also to do a little bit with lumber down the road.
If he uses the tariff stance compared to expectations, that may be bullish for crypto. If he goes hard, it might depress prices. We'll keep it on our radar. Next up, what's coming for Ethereum? Recent data shows ETH just recorded its worst Q1 in history, with all 3 months in the red. Does that set 2025 Q2 up to be one of Ethereum's best? Meanwhile, the stablecoin supply on Ethereum just hit a new all-time high, suggesting large amounts of stable capital could flow back into ETH or altcoins. Plus, the supply of ETH on centralized exchanges is at a 9-year low, implying that holders are moving their coins into cold storage. Typically, when tokens move off exchanges, it means holders are less prone to selling, so once demand picks up, supply is constrained, and that can drive the price higher. Meanwhile, we've often speculated how Michael Saylor might handle his personal Bitcoin keys long term. In a newly revealed 1-minute 22-second clip, he addresses this.
You'll just leave your money to the human race, and everybody that believes what I believe, right? I believe in Satoshi and his vision, sovereignty, property rights, freedom, economic empowerment, economic immortality. I believe nobody should be able to steal your money. I believe you should get to keep it. And so if I believe that and I burn those keys, then I have made everybody in the network that much richer and more powerful forever. And they have the option to do the same, or maybe they'll use that power for good in a way that they deem to be appropriate. And you're like, well, who'd you give the most power to? I gave the most power to the person that believed the most what I believe, right? I mean, everybody has the choice to join the network with $1, $100, $1 million, $1 billion, or $1 trillion, right? So everybody gets to join, and we're all in it together from now to eternity. So, yeah, that's my legacy.
I guess that begs the question: would you ever burn all your Bitcoin?
I think that I've just answered the question in the most responsible way that anybody would ever answer the question.
If you'd like to join our community and keep up with daily crypto insights, hit that subscribe button and grow with us in the crypto sphere. As always, thanks you and see you tomorrow.